The surprising ways your videos can leak your location. He's Jose Monkey, and he finds people who ask to be found. Hi everyone, Leo Notenboom here for askleo.com. A little while ago, I ran across an interesting TikTok channel of all places by a fellow named Jose Monkey. Now, granted, of course, that's a pseudonym for his online presence. But what Jose Monkey does is very, very interesting. I found it fascinating for two separate reasons. One is that it's a very important object lesson for all of us, especially our kids. And the other is, it's really cool what he does and how he goes about doing it. What does he do? Well, he finds people who ask to be found. What does that mean? He encourages people to take a short video of themselves or of a location. And by short, I really do mean sometimes like 5, 10, 30 seconds worth, maybe panning around a particular area, 180, 360 degrees, and ask him specifically in the video, Jose Monkey, find me. And about 80% of the time, he does. Now, one of the example videos that I've got in the companion article, it's actually embedded in the companion article for this video, is one where a woman has basically stopped by the side of the road in the middle of the desert, done a 360, and asked Jose Monkey to find her. And he does. It's fascinating how little information he actually needs to be able to pinpoint somebody's location. And by pinpoint, I really do mean he will typically end up with his video saying, and you were standing here, in multiple places around the United States and even internationally. So what kind of information does he use? Well, some of the ones that I've seen include landmarks and physical characteristics of the location, of course, buildings and other structures that appear, however briefly, in the video. The OpenStreetMap database is actually an interesting source of information for him because he can draw a lot of queries based on what he sees. He might say, okay, I need to know all the different locations where a Target store is within 150 feet of a Starbucks, those kinds of things. Google Earth to, again, get a very good picture, often very similar to the video that was submitted by a user. License plates, of all things, of any vehicles in the video, because that can, of course, help him narrow down at least the state where the video was taken. And even the accent of the person recording the video, which I find absolutely fascinating. Again, it's not 100%, but it can be a clue that helps him at least begin to narrow down the range of possibilities. And like I said, it's very possible there's a lot of other things that he looks at, that he thinks about, that he basically uses to help identify exactly where that specific video was taken. The neat thing about his approach is he doesn't just say, you were here. He actually step by step walks through the process that he went through to identify the location. Sometimes it's 15 or 20 minutes. Sometimes it's several hours. Sometimes it's like a day's worth of work that he has to set aside for a while and come back to with a fresh mind. But like I said, I think it's about 80% of these videos, and some of them are incredibly obscure, he actually manages to essentially geolocate on his own. And like I said, the one that I have shared in the article is probably the most interesting to me just because it seems like it's in the middle of nowhere. And yet he is absolutely able to say, yep, you were standing right here on the side of this road in this position. Like I said, absolutely fascinating. So why do I bring this all up? Well, like I said, it's very educational. It's very interesting to actually watch this kind of stuff happen. But more than anything else, and I think this is one of the reasons he does it, it is a cautionary tale to all of us in the sense that we are constantly leaking information about who we are and what we do, and specifically where we are whenever we take a photograph or a video or a selfie. Now, granted, you and I maybe we're not part of the selfie generation. I totally get that. I don't do them. I do videos occasionally and I do a lot of pictures. And yes, those too often expose exactly where I'm at when the picture was taken. But I think this is very important, I think, for perhaps some of our younger crowd to understand that the information that they take, the pictures that they take, the videos that they take, the selfies that they take, and then post publicly, or for that matter, post in any way, because if somebody can see it, they can copy it and make it public, they're leaking a lot more information than they might think. Just sharing it with a friend doesn't protect you. It's one of those scenarios where if it's been captured digitally, it can be shared potentially with the world. And that means that there are people out there who may be interested in doing this kind of geolocation. Now, I have to point out, this isn't a huge scare. I'm not trying to scare anybody. The important thing here is to understand, that it could happen. This is not a trivial piece of work. As I pointed out, what Jose Monkey is doing is anywhere between 15 minutes to several days worth of work to locate a specific video location. Most of us just aren't interested in investing that kind of time. But in some situations, it might be the case where, to somebody, you could be that interesting. And the information that you've accidentally leaked without even realizing it could be enough for them to find out not just where you are, that's the example here, but a ton of other information about who you are, where you are, what you do, and more. I do believe that most of us don't need to be terribly concerned about this. However, I do think all of us need to be aware of this and understand that the possibility exists. My recommendation is that you share this information with the people whom you think might be the most vulnerable, who might be the most interesting, who might be the most, I'll say, ignorant of the kinds of things that they might be leaking by accident. It is something very important in our very visual, very connected, and very public world. For updates, for comments, for links, including a link to the full Jose Monkey TikTok channel, visit askleo.com/167448. I'm Leo Notenboom, and this is askleo.com. Thanks for watching.